tes.
Baik, Bapak Ibu, langsung saja kita akan panggilkan bersama untuk presenter selanjutnya, Mr. Jeremy, maksud saya adalah dari Dell Emc Indonesia, would like to share his presentation about modern infrastructure for IT transformation yang akan dibawakan oleh Mr. Rajiv Juneja, Director Pre-Sales for Asia Emerging Markets. Untuk Mr. Rajiv, kami persilakan.
Well, I think the key message here is that in my session, you will find soon that IT transformation and digital transformation are actually two sides of the same coin. And my job over the next 15 minutes is to give you that perspective wherein you see the connect between digital transformation as well as the IT transformation, and as to how IT transformation is a key enabling technology for all of you to achieve your dreams and your wish list on your journey to achieve digital transformation. So moving on, since I only have 15 minutes, I got to move a bit fast. So let me begin my session with two stories so that I can get you connected to my theme and my presentation today. Have you ever wondered that in a Boeing jet, how many parts are there? Of course, you can see that on the screen. There are about 6 million parts in one single aircraft. Did we ever wonder as to if a pilot who is flying that aircraft, does he or she really bother about all these parts? The question is the pilot really aware that there are so many parts, and do they really care? And the next question, which is even more scary, is that most of us fly, correct? Do we really think about that? Is the airplane being flown by the pilot, or most of the time the airplane is being flown in an autopilot mode? I think most of you who have traveled, you have seen that the minute aircraft takes over, most pilots tend to put this in autopilot mode. The technology is so advanced these days that actually an aircraft can fly right from the takeoff to the landing stage completely in an end-to-end autopilot mode. Moving on. In 1930s, for every 1 million air miles that were flown, there used to be one accident. And 70 years down or 80 years down the road, now there is only one accident for every 2 billion air miles that are flown. Which means, because of technology, over the last 70, 80 years, our air travel has become 2,000 times safer. Okay. Second story that I would like to connect with you guys today is, how many of you think what percentage of accident happen in a car because of mechanical failure? Any guesses? Anybody wants to take a shot? More than 50% or less than 50%? Anybody? Second choice. Anybody wants to take a call on number of accidents that happen? Is it a single digit or is it double digit because of human error? Well, you'll be surprised to know only 3% accidents. Only 3% accidents happen because of mechanical failure. A big bulk of accidents, which is a whopping 94% accidents, actually happen because of human mistakes. The mistake that you and I make as drivers. And that is the reason that all the automated cars have come into practice. I think you have heard the stories about Google, Apple, and a whole lot of other companies trying to make billions of dollars of innovation into automated cars or self-driven cars. And the statistics about self-driven cars is that for last so many years, there has been only one accident reported for a self-driven car across 2 million miles, and that too when the speed of the car was only 2 miles per hour. So I've shared two stories with you. Do you see a common thread between the two stories? The common thread between the two stories is that every time a software does a job, the chances of a mistake, the chances of an error, or the chances of things going wrong is very, very small. But if there are humans doing the same job, or if there are people like you and me trying to do the same thing, the possibility of things going wrong are a lot higher. The possibility that something can go wrong, the possibility that someone makes a mistake, the chance that someone actually forgets a step to be performed, or a chance that someone forgets to apply brake because he is dozing off is a lot higher. But when the same thing is controlled by a software, things always happen on the spot, things happen on the time. The chances that something goes wrong is very, very small. As things are getting more and more complex, we all are facing the same problem in our IT also. Now, most of you who run IT across your organization, I'm sure you are under similar challenge and similar pressure from your management. When your CIO or your CFO or your CEO or your management or your users or your customers in your organization are asking you to make sure, hey, look, I want you to run my IT, which is more efficient, which is faster. The minute I ask you for resources, you should be giving me the resources, isn't it? These are the common challenges that most of you face as our customers, that we hear from you as when we meet you as vendors and your service providers. Now, to further substantiate this, Dell EMC worked with a company called ESG back in the US, and we asked them to conduct a survey for us. This survey was done in the late 2016 and early part of 2017, and we asked them to meet few thousand customers for us on our behalf and actually do a survey across 3 parameters, as you can see on the screen. 1, what is the adoption of modern data center pillars that these customers are going to do? Second, what are the modern IT processes some of these large banks or telcos or the other organizations have done over the last few years? And last but not the least, what is the focus on business and IT alignment to make sure that all these companies, as they counter the competition in the next phase of their business, how are they responding? Now, you'll be surprised to see some of the results. As you can see on the right-hand side of the screen, only 5% of approximately 4,000 customers or the CIOs who responded, only 5% agreed that they have achieved some level of digital transformation or some level of IT transformation which enables a digital transformation. As you can see, for most part of the customers, either they have not started their journey, which is the 12% on the left side of the screen, but a big 83% of customers are in different phase of maturity. I'm sure many of you would agree with this, because I know many of you, when we meet you as customers, you are having similar challenges. You are in a similar industry as your competition is, and you are going through same phase of maturity, same phase of achieving your next dream of digital transformation. Now, the one thing that really stands out from this survey is that out of 4,000 respondents, 71% agreed that if they do not achieve the next level of IT transformation or digital transformation, there is a likely chance that they will soon be out of business. Now, I was checking with Daddy before I came here. I wanted to get the name correct. I think the best example that we all can take in Indonesia is an example of our friendly bike company called Gojek. Now, Gojek is an excellent example of a company that has done innovation wherein they have made sure that through use of software, a simple bike service can be made available to people like you and me just on a click of a button. Okay? And Gojek, the reason I'm giving that example is because Gojek is an example wherein they have embraced both digital transformation and IT transformation, and they are in the forefront of innovation. They are in that pack of the last 5% of people who have achieved that level of transformation in their business operations. Moving on, at Dell EMC, we say there are 3 key pillars to IT transformation. One is to modernize your data center. Second is to automate your service delivery. And finally, last but not the least, is to transform your IT operations. Now, if some of you are thinking that should I do in step by step, should I do in phases? Now, the good news is, and as you would see next few slides, all these things have to go hand in hand. You can achieve each of them at different levels of maturity. So this is a common slide, or this is a common architecture that most of you who run IT, who understand IT for your organizations, you go through. In every application or every business application that you run in your environment, you have typically these 5 stages. You have a piece of infrastructure, then you have a piece of orchestration or automation that helps you to run your application, and then finally, you have your business applications. Could be an example of a core banking for a bank, or could be an example for a billing for a telco, or could be an example of an enterprise resource application for a manufacturing organization. Now, at Dell EMC, we club the bottom 2 layers as infrastructure. The middle 2 layers in the form of a cloud and the orchestration, that's where you install your application. And finally, the applications or your business applications that you run at the top. Now, how do we map this to the theme of IT transformation and digital transformation? As you notice in my previous slide, there are three phases of IT transformation. One is to modernization, second is automation, and third is about the transformation. So modernization is the step that you apply at the infrastructure layer, and that is my topic for today over next 5 or 6 minutes. Automation is something that you do at your cloud layer. That's where you automate and orchestrate your applications. Take an example. Your marketing needs a new virtual machine because they need to run a new marketing campaign. That's where you give them at a cloud layer, you give access to your marketing manager to say, okay, Mr. Marketing Manager, here's your portal. Go and click on this icon and your VM will be provisioned. And finally, you put this all together when you transform your IT operations, even to an extent that there are companies now that allow their users to subscribe IT like a utility. The role of IT team is more about as an enabler rather than actually provisioning IT for them. So let's focus on the infrastructure part. What are the 5 key pillars that you should be looking at while you look at modernizing your IT? Now at Dell EMC, we believe these 5 pillars are flash, cloud-enabled, scale-out, software-defined, and last but not the least, trust, which is security. And a colleague of mine or a friend of mine spoke about security at length before me. Now let me give you a definition of each of these 5, and for some of you who want to take a picture of this slide, now this is something that you should be taking back when you discuss this with your CIOs or your CTOs or your teams internally. Now flash, of course, is the cornerstone for every application that you are deploying. Now, the best example I can give is a smartphone. Each one of us as an individual, we have been using flash for our own use since 2000 or 2008 or 9. That's when the first smartphone in the form of iPhone came. But the point is very simple. Flash has reached to a point, if we can use flash for our own personal use, there is no reason we should not be using flash for running our critical business applications. Second is cloud-enabled. Any application that you want to deploy now or you plan to deploy in over next coming weeks to coming months, it has to be policy-driven. Gone are the days when IT had to manually go and configure the applications. Now, business wants things to be run on a policy. The minute they want a resource, they want a policy to be giving them the resource. Take an example of email or take an example of additional resource, a file share or anything that you can call back in your organization. Third is scale out. Who does not want a thing that stops working? Everyone wants a scalability. Everyone wants things that move as the workload grows. So scale out is something that all of you should be planning when you work and design your next set of IT infrastructures. Fourth is software defined. I think I started my 2 stories is all about software, and I again bring the smartphone to substantiate my point. I know I'm holding a piece of hardware, but this is nothing but a software. Most of us spend time on our set of 15, 20, 25 applications which have become part of our daily life. Whether it's booking air ticket, booking your cinema hall ticket, even you can book parking in some cities now using your smartphone. So that's an example of software. Everything these days have to be delivered, has to be enabled through software. And like I said, last but not the least, trust. Any corporate information that your customers wants to access, your business users wants to access, they want to make sure that the information is authenticated and they can trust that information to carry their business transaction. So at Dell EMC, we believe these are the 5 key cornerstones for the modern infrastructure that you and your companies are going to build over the next few months to few years. Moving on, for customers who are looking to transform your IT environment, you have the choice of putting your infrastructure or modernizing your infrastructure in the form of converged or hyper-converged infrastructure. Now, if you need more information, you can always visit us at the Dell EMC booth outside. There is a team that can help you to share more information on each of these topics. Since my time is very limited, I'm not allowed to go through in each of these in more detail. The other option is you can still choose the classic method of going through servers, storage, and networking. And as you can see at the top layer, at Dell EMC, we have prepared ready programs in the areas of high-performance computing, in the areas of analytics, in the areas of business applications, wherein if you are looking for solutions and help in each of those areas, we at Dell EMC are equipped to help you to be partner to your journey for your next level of IT and digital transformation. And the good news is, at Dell EMC, we are rated #1 in all the 6, 7, or 8 key categories that you would possibly need to run your infrastructure to modernize your IT. Be it in the converged platform systems, be it storage, be it servers. And by the way, I'm presenting this slide with a lot of humbleness. These rating is not from Dell EMC, but this is the market share and the ratings by various third-party companies that have been analyzing all the industries, including Dell EMC as a company in it. That was as far as the product and services is concerned. But the good news is that Dell EMC, we have also invested a lot in the professional services as well as into customer support services, including our own team and our partner ecosystem. And many of our partners are present in today's Metrodata event. There are about 60,000 professionals worldwide that are at service of customers like you, wherein we are partnering with customers and partners like you to make sure that we help you in your journey for IT transformation and digital transformation. If you need any more information on any of these, like I said, I would strongly encourage you to visit us, visit our booth outside, which is just around the room. Oops, sorry. And within Dell EMC, there are 7 companies in the brand, as you can see, leading with Dell Technologies, and that Dell EMC that focuses on all the infrastructure and data center solutions. VirtualStream, which is our cloud offering. Pivotal, the company that is focused on big data and data analytics. VMware, which you all very well know. RSA, the company that leads into the security. And finally, the SecureWorks, which is the managed security services company. Now, as customers and as partners, you can work with each one of us as individual companies. And each of the company has its own set of solutions and technologies that you can leverage. But when we combine together, we are a force that can help you in more than one solution area. Now, the last slide is, you must be wondering that, okay, Rajiv spoke about IT transformation that leads to digital transformation. How do we engage with you guys? Well, like I said, my encouragement and my request to you is reach out to us. We have a booth outside. There are many people from Dell EMC out here in the room and outside. You can call us, you can send email, and finally there is a website that you can reach out to us on dellemc.com/IT transformation. And there is a link there that leads you to IT transformation as well as to digital transformation. With that, I end my session. Thank you very much for your time and attention. Thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you very much, Mr. Rajiv.
Tes, tes.